Many thanks for choosing us this afternoon. The minority are accusing the NPP colleagues of prioritizing private interest over mini budget meant to keep the government running for the first few months of next year. The majority have asked the NDC colleagues to agree to deal with the tax waivers and loans in return for the expenditure in advance of appropriation. The minority have flatly rejected this trade. Now, Finance Minister Dr. Mohammed Amin Adam has been absent from Parliament for 4 days in a row. With Parliament expected to go on Christmas break today, the NDC says they will not allow the tax waivers. Listen to Joseph Bukari, MP for Saboba.
All they want is for us to agree to them to do the tax waivers first, which we are also saying that it will not be proper for us. Now going through the transition, we don't know what exactly is in the ministries. We don't know what exactly the bills are. We don't know what exactly the expenditure, the debts are. And so we cannot continue to be giving goodies to companies that have stayed in this country and have also contributed to this mess that we are in. That will continue to give them tax waivers. Our priority should be, we should get into a point where we do an assessment of ourselves. Thank God that we have a president-elect who says that he wants to reset Ghana. And I believe in him that after 7th January, he will be able to put in place a lot of measures to go through a proper assessment of what the country is at now and be able to now prioritize where to spend so that we can get going. But if at this point you are leaving office and you still want to continue to give out, I think that we should look at the priority areas and spend there. There's nothing that is more of importance for me to the expenditure in advance of appropriation. That should be where we should be looking at. We have other issues, especially we have the transitions bill, we have the parliamentary transitions bill. Those ones, we can look at them because they are necessary. But if you go and you come and look at tax waivers, totaling over $300 million US, my brother, you should be asking yourself that after these elections, are we actually looking at rebuilding our country?
Joseph Bukari says the future John Mahama government will be open to looking at those outstanding government businesses when it assumes office in January. He insists the current government must prioritize the mini budget.
It should be at a point of reflection. What do we do that will be of benefit to the people, but not what do we do to go and benefit some few individuals who are just interested in making profit. In any case, let's ask ourselves, what has those companies that they are looking for the tax waivers brought to this economy? What is their contribution to the economy? What is it that they have been in this system they have operated? We have seen rebranding and painting of warehouses and containers and calling them what do you call 1D, 1F. Those, they have been in the system, and that is the economy we have. So for me, there should be a pause on some of the activities, a reflection on them, and we'll see which of them are of importance to the Ghanaian people that we need to continue. But I feel that with these few days left, government should put a hold on them so that the incoming government will assess them. If they are of benefit to the country, why not? We want good things to happen to the country. So we'll continue with them, if only they will serve the purpose of the Ghanaian needs. But for now, I think that the outgoing government should not put as a priority on tax waivers than the expenditure in advance of appropriation.
The minority leader, Dr. Kaisel Atoforsen, has also issued a stern warning to the finance minister, cautioning that failure to present the first quarter mini budget to Parliament could result in legal consequences.
The expenditure in advance of appropriations for January to March 2025, Mr. Speaker, can be laid by any member on behalf of the minister responsible for finance. Mr. Speaker, copies are before us. I have a copy. Mr. Speaker, I'm sure you also have a copy. And I think this is not the presentation itself. It's laying of papers. Speaker, there are occasions, instances that papers have been laid on behalf of a minister of state. In the same vein, we have a minister for tourism before us. The Speaker, he is the available leader, and he's a minister for tourism, a cabinet minister. The Speaker, I urge him to lay it on behalf of the minister responsible for finance. But if you don't want to do it, I can do it on your behalf. The Speaker, I also want to convey to the minister and His Excellency the President that the Constitution places an obligation on the President to present to this House before the year ends expenditure in advance of appropriation for the first 3 months of the year 2025. And this is Article 80. The Speaker, aside that, the PFM Act, the Public Financial Management Act, places a responsibility on the finance minister to act on behalf of the president to present the estimate before us. And there are severe penalties for not doing it. There are severe penalties for not doing it, including a jail term. Severe penalties. So I just want to caution those in office to be aware of the constitutional provision and also to be aware of the PFM Act.
Meanwhile, the First Deputy Majority Whip, Habib Idrisu, has assured that the Finance Minister will deliver the mini-budget to Parliament this Friday. This comes amid tensions in the House, with the Speaker clashing with the majority over accusations against the NDC for delays in the budget presentation.
Appropriation on account from January to March 2025 is an important document. The Finance Minister ought to do that on behalf of the President. The Finance Minister have given indication that he's ready to do that, but he's unavailable, absent at the moment. So tomorrow it can be laid and taken, but for us to say that a different minister should do that, this is a very important document. Without authorization, neither does he have any indication to do so. Mr. Speaker, as a Deputy Majority Whip, I can say that I have had that conversation, and the Finance Minister will do that tomorrow.
You had a conversation with the President?
Yes, and that will be, the indication is that tomorrow.
I don't want us to come tomorrow and we are told that I don't have authority to do 1, 2, 3. Then you are the same leaders who say you don't want us to sit on Saturday. And tomorrow is Friday. If we don't do that, it means that this item might not be taken by the House before we transit to the next government. And you know, it's very easy to do it. The next government can come on the next day if they come and present it, and the House will have to work on it, and it is done. And you will be setting a very bad precedent. You know, you'll be setting a very bad precedent, and it's not for your health.
Well, we'll bring you details as to whether the Finance Minister showed up in Parliament a bit later. But moving away from Parliament, the President of the Ghana Union Traders Association, GUTA, Dr. Obeng, together with other stakeholders, has urged the incoming administration to prioritize the appointment of competent ambassadors who can effectively represent the interest of the business community. They emphasized that such appointments should aim at enhancing trade and the business community rather than serve as rewards for party loyalty. He spoke on the polls.
I had a meeting with one of these ambassadors, maybe I don't have to mention the name here, and he said that their target is $1 billion by 2025.
If you don't,
from Ghana.
Yes, goods coming from Ghana. The purchase from their country.
Into Ghana.
Yes. Our embassies, do we even have trade attaches? No.
No, they got it.
Even the ambassadors that we appoint, most of them are so weak even to work. And so, if we do not make any effort, because we are traders.
Dog, they are weak physically or...
Oh, some of them are, they use it to reward the elderly, and that's not. But these people, they bring the young people who can move into because we want to go into export. But trading is not a one-way thing. Well, trading from time immemorial is bilateral.
Of course.
So you take goods to your destination of purchase, and then when you sell your goods and then you buy goods, then it's a barter.
Yes.
So that's what we have been.
So the next
we want to be exporting goods to set up our forest.
Right.
But let me tell you, if you want information from say China, Turkey, or elsewhere, from maybe Ghana export. What goods do I have to send? What quality? What quantity? What
is the information readily available?
You don't even have because we do not. We have broken the chain.
Right.
The ambassadorial positions that we've given each of them to get a trade attaché who will seek these informations and who will be given targets.
President Mahama, President-elect, yes.
This is a humble plea that we have. Trade attachés who will give us the necessary information as to what we can send to those countries and they to shore up our forests.
Well, the Ashanti region has recorded 1045 cases since the beginning of 2024, representing 12% of increase. The region recorded 928 cases last year. Regional Fire Commander Peter Tete attributes the increase in fire cases to climate change, people's carelessness, ignorance, and recalcitrance to fire safety. More in this report.
The Ashanti region recorded 928 fire cases in 2023, which in 2024 has increased to 1,040. The regional commander, ACFO2 Peter Tete, in an interview with JoyNews, attributed the increase to climate change and the recalcitrant behavior of people. According to him, measures are being put in place to intensify the campaign in this dry season.
Last year, what we have is 928. And as of this year, we are having 1,040. 1,040. We have increased. We have increased about a percentage point of 12%. Of 12. If you check the statistics or the weather pattern this year, you see that the rainfall is very low for the year. Therefore, temperatures have increased, and that might also contribute to the increase. We have recalcitrance, we have carelessness, and we have ignorance. Ignorance in the sense that people are not prepared to even listen to the campaign. They are not prepared to listen. Because if you check the causes, what brought about these fires, it is something they could have prevented. Yes, so we encourage people to prevent fires rather than managing them.
Well, moving on, the Ashanti Division of the Ghana Medical Association has condemned a shocking attack on the residence of its divisional chairman, Dr. Parkwesi Beidu. Unknown assailants felled a tree onto his home, endangering his wife and 2-year-old son. The association is demanding swift investigation and the arrest of the culprit, the police protection for Dr. Beidu's family as well. Now, on your screens shortly will be the statement that the doctors in the Ashanti Region Division issued, and then we'll just bring that to you at some point to bring you details as to whether the security requested has been provided. But on your screen now is the Divisional Executive Council, and members of the Ashanti Division of the Ghana Medical Association are horrified by a terrifying attack on the residence of the divisional chairman, Dr. Parkwesi Beidu, which occurred in the evening of Wednesday, 18th December 2024. It goes on to say it's about 7 p.m. Meanwhile, while Dr. Beidu was at work, some unknown persons entered the premises of his bungalow to raise down a giant tree on the compound. The tree fell on the house, breaking the roof and damaging some personal effects as well. And Dr. Baidu's wife and his 2-year-old son, who were indoors at the time of the incident, were trapped in and traumatized, even though, thankfully, they did not sustain any physical injuries. Their screams were ignored by these unscrupulous persons who left hurriedly after committing that dastardly act. It took some passerbyers to assist them out of the house, after which they made calls to Dr. Baidu, who rushed to the scene. He has since reported the incident to the Ashanti Regional Police Headquarters in Kumasi. As a division, we condemn this wicked and callous act, which puts the lives of Dr. Baidu's family at risk. They therefore seek the following: 1, the immediate commencement of investigation and arrest of the culprits, and also the prosecution and punishment of the culprits, and thirdly, compensation of Dr. Baidu's family for the damage of his belongings and emotional stress as well. In the interim, the members of the division condemn or demand the provision of police protection for our chairman and his family as investigations also continue. As a law-abiding association, we resolve to give our able police enough time and space for them to work to apprehend the culprits. However, we would like to reiterate that the division cannot not be held responsible for any drastic actions it resolves to take if the matter is not handled expeditiously. And so that is the statement from the divisional, the attack that happened on the divisional chairman's residence, traumatizing his wife and his 2-year-old child. Well, we promised that Nanaya Boache is in Kumasi. Will bring you details as to whether what has happened subsequently since they issued the statement. But back in Accra here, the Minister of Education, Yao Osei Edichum, is urging the incoming John Mahama administration to sustain the quality of education being handed over to them. According to them, the Nanado-led NPP government has made several gains in education sector, and it's important the next administration continues from where they're leaving it. In what appears to be his final address as Education Minister, he emphasized the need to enhance STEM education introduced under the NPP administration.
I always miss Accra STEM Academy. I go there frequently to see progress. And headmaster has been appointed, so school is going to open soon. We've gone past that. See, Assembly Hall, everything is there. So we've left something for you, Ghana Education Service. I want you to take very good care of it, run it well, and know that God has given you an opportunity to change the life of others. The choice is in your hands, whether you make the environment better than you came to find it, or you ignore and not worry about it. We can be timid souls on this planet called Earth. We have to be bold. We have to move forward. We have to change the space that will be entrusted to our care. Creating new assembly halls for our junior high schools and kindergarten and primary schools should be what we have to focus on. We should be determined that every child in Ghana deserves a better learning environment. And if the exams is easy and the children are passing and they are giving me credit for it, I'm not doing Ghana any favor. Because those kind of children will never change your country. The American children are coming out patents and inventions because they are being assessed at the top 3. So we cannot just educate, but we have to always question ourselves. Is the education that we are delivering going to change our country? We've been at it for over 60 years. Other countries began earlier. That we began with have changed. Because they did not assess on 1, 2, 3. They did 4, 5, and 6. And therefore their fortunes are better than ours. We have begun, even if we're 60 years late. By GES, let's sustain the change. If we sustain the change, then we'll leave a better legacy for our nation. We have been seen as transformation agents. My colleague teachers teach at the grade level. based on lesson plan guidelines that GS should be giving you. And now that we have an electronic platform, it shouldn't be difficult for you to do lesson plans that challenges students to think at the create level. And that is why I believe visual students are the best students in Ghana, visual artists. They are always learning at the level of create, and you tell me they are not the smart ones.
Meanwhile, the Director General of the Ghana Education Service, Dr. Eric Nkansa, has condemned the burning of the Kwashiman cluster of schools, describing it as unacceptable. He assured that efforts are underway to restore the school whilst investigation continues.
It's such an unfortunate event, obviously, as the Director General for Ghana Education Service. It's one of the saddest moments that I would have. Kwashiman School, the cluster of schools there, recently, just last year, benefited from a library project. I think it came across as one of the best library projects that we have had in the basic schools across the country. It has also benefited from some kind of support from the ministry in just recent times. And the last thing anybody would have expected would have been to see the situation that we are witnessing now. Is affecting and displacing quite a number of our pupils, but as a service, we also have education and emergency contingency plan, which is more or less like a business continuity plan that has been activated at the district and regional levels, and where the headquarters would need to come in to provide support, we will do that. But we will make sure that the children's education would still happen within the framework of our education and emergency contingency plan.
Well, in a rather sad story, 10-year-old Lisa Lai, whose fight against leukemia touched the heart of many, has tragically passed away while undergoing treatment in South Africa. This comes just weeks after she arrived at the Donald Gordon Hospital for a life-saving bone marrow transplant. Lisa's treatment had been fully funded by Mr. Ibrahim Mahama, the CEO of Engineers and Planners and Jetta Cement, giving her family hope for recovery. Her family has requested utmost privacy as they mourn their loss and have assured a statement will be released in due course. We hope that Lisa finds peace and rest in a rather sad story, and we're also commiserating with their family here at Multimedia. We're supporting and hoping that she really finds rest. Anyway, let me bring you some excitement, even if it's excitement. Well, the Christmas festivities are gradually shaping up in the Ashanti region, capital Kumasi, with many revelers readying themselves to relish the holidays. But some traders in Ghana's second large city are lamenting low sales days before the season sets in. They attribute the slow market to the electoral loss that befell their beloved political party, the New Patriotic Party. Emmanuel Bright-Kweku gauged the mood ahead of Christmas festivities and now reports.
Days into the 2024 general elections, Ashanti region's capital, Kumasi, buzzed with excitement from its youth. They had found a new toy gun and vuvuzela craze to prep them for the Christmas festivities. A few days after the December 7 polls, it is a mixed euphoria in the Garden City ahead of the Yuletide. The region, as a stronghold of the New Patriotic Party, was in anticipation of a victory for their beloved party to celebrate the season.
Whether good or bad,
we're celebrating regardless of the outcome of the elections. At the Central Business District of Kumasi, traders argue the NPP's overwhelming defeat is impacting sales. Traders who are into the sale of Christmas accessories like toys, hats, spectacles, and fireworks are recording dwindling profits ahead of the holidays.
Before election, supposed to have 2,000 and 3,000.
Before the elections, the market was good, but now you can barely break even.
To me, the market now is slow. Me huso cry. About to no a higher. I'm a comedy.
If the elections had gone in favor of the NPP, market would have boomed.
Although economic activity seems slow in this part of the country, it is not stopping people from relishing the moments.
We must celebrate because God has been good.
I really enjoy the Christmas. What is Christmas without some lightning and decorations on various medians and runabouts to light the mood for the festivities? The airport runabout in Kumasi has in the past years been decorated with lighting accessories for the Christmas and New Year holidays. The beautiful setup has served as a place for rekindling love and family ties. People troop to this beautification to make some memories through photos. With only a phone against a nice background and smiling face, they make lasting memories.
So I just came here to snap a pic. That's why I came here to snap pictures. But why this particular place? Oh, because here is very beautiful. Because they have decorated here very nicely. That's why I'm here.
I will be partying all through until December 28th. Because she had the Lumba. So I went to Urashi Park 25th.
I feel I call a pro. I bet to yen subio. A jonya mi enkumye wa ma fepa atu yen. So, regardless of your political stance, indeed, the Lord has been faithful to all of us. And this is the time for us to celebrate. And Christmas is a time for us to reflect on how far the Lord has brought us. I wish you a very Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year. From here in Kumasi, my name is Emmanuel Bright Kweku.
From here in our studios, we're also getting ready for Christmas. Right now, though, let's go for a quick break. We'll bring you business.
Welcome back to Business on JoyNews Today. My name is Winston Saki, and now to our first business story. IMF has indicated that it will not compromise on Ghana's program goals as it gets ready to engage incoming government on renegotiation talks. President-elect John Mahama has pushed for a formal engagement to try and rework the program in line with efforts to reset the economy. Julie Kozak is Director of Communications at the IMF and has been speaking at a news conference in Washington, D.C., USA.
On December 2nd, the IMF's executive board completed the third review of the program. This gave Ghana access to $360 million US dollars, bringing total disbursements under the program to $1.9 billion. Performance under the program has been generally satisfactory, and there's been remarkable progress on debt restructuring. Economic growth is recovering rapidly. Inflation has importantly declined, although at a slower pace, and the fiscal position and the external position have continued to improve. With respect to the question about the further questions on the program, of course, the primary focus of the program doesn't change, right? It is to support Ghana in restoring macroeconomic stability, ensuring debt sustainability, fostering long-lasting and inclusive growth. And in terms of the possibility of making adjustments to the program, our programs are developed always in collaboration with the authorities in the country, and they are aimed at achieving the economic objectives that I just discussed. We do have regular reviews under the program to assess progress and ensure that the program is aligned with its intended goals.
Now, moving on, senior lecturer at the Department of Finance, the University of Ghana Business School, Dr. Benjamin Amoah, has stressed the need for financial literacy initiatives to play a pivotal role in enhancing the overall financial resilience of the economy. He was speaking at the launch of the Financial Literacy Educators Association, Ghana.
The association hopes to bring together all financial literacy educators in Ghana, including the financial sector regulators, to share knowledge, network, and discuss ways to improve financial literacy in Ghana. Dr. Benjamin Amos stressed the need to foster a collaborative approach among key stakeholders to improve investor confidence.
First and foremost, responsibility for investor education or public financial education falls on the regulators. And the regulators here, I'm talking about Bank of Ghana, I'm talking about National Pension Regulatory Authority, Securities and Exchange Commission, and NIC. These are the four principal regulators that we have in the country, and to a large extent, Ministry of Finance. So in their mandate, there are provisions in their mandate that they have to educate the public when it comes to issues relating to finance, and to be specific, what relates to each regulator in terms of the regulator's industry domain.
Former Director General of the Securities and Exchange Commission, Dr. Edouard Nanenji, called for financial literacy to become an integral part of the educational and social systems.
It's why we have financial literacy education. It promotes investor protection.
The Financial Literacy Educators Association Ghana aims to promote financial education and well-being.
That's all for business. For more news, visit myjoyonline.com/business for more updates. As you can see on the first page, we have first tax to go should be COVID-19 levy, e-levy, and VAT review. That's according to Mark Bedu Abuaji. That you get for more updates right there. My name is Winston Taki. Expect more business on the marketplace at 1 p.m. We're back with more.